Hello, you guys, and welcome to another edition of Personal Foul. It is Casual Monday here today.
Yeah, Casual Monday, because he has a meeting tomorrow. So that's when we're shooting this on a Monday. So we thought we'd go casual for you guys.
Very casual. Yeah. And what a difference a week makes. We were here just last week talking about how the Lakers were playing terrible. The Dodgers would not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Doom and gloom.
It was raining in LA, pouring rain, and now it's all sunny.
And now it's very, very sunny. And
yeah.
Both teams are playing very, very impressively. So I think that will be the order of business today. And so I guess we'll begin this podcast by talking about the Lakers, who have gone 4-1 in their recent stretch of games. Very nice. They beat the Spurs, the Nuggets, the Mavs. I'm just putting these teams out there like it's no big deal, but this was a very big deal here in Lakerland, and we saw some pretty impressive things, right?
Yeah, it was very impressive not only that they won 4-1 in that stretch, but also they did it without the leading scorer in the NBA, Kobe Bryant, who's actually now the best dressed coach in the NBA. So it was impressive to see the team come together. You could see the energy level of the bench and of the other starters pick up with Kobe being on the bench. So it was really impressive to me how they handled the Spurs so handily, because I was hesitant to think they had a shot at beating the Spurs, who were just coming off an 11-game winning streak, and then for the Lakers just to blow them out in their own court was pretty impressive for me to watch, and Byron was a beast in that game as well.
Just a complete team effort from a variety of different players. One player of note, Metta World Peace, who's all of a sudden found his shooting stroke. I think he was like 5 for 8 from 3-point against the Spurs, just putting out a complete ridiculous outing, just posting up, doing amazing things we haven't seen from him since he was here in a Lakers uniform. Pretty amazing stuff.
No, but he was hitting shots like he was Kobe Bryant, hitting turnaround jump shot with guys in his face. A little humble brag now. Metta World Peace is following me on Twitter. Yes. Gotta put that out there. But yeah, he's been playing great though. His defense is better now too. I think he's more mobile. He was able to move more laterally now, side by side. So it's great to see that now he's back. I think he did I think 2 20-point games in this stretch, I believe so. And he's shooting the ball a lot better now. I know he says he's not a stats guy, but his stats are dramatically improved throughout the season. I think he was averaging like 3 points or something in the beginning of the year, or 5 something ridiculous. But he's improving. But the main story of this whole thing has been Andrew Bynum, who now has emerged as arguably the best center in the league. I don't know what you could say about the guy who got 30 rebounds against the San Antonio Spurs and almost by himself single-handedly out-rebounded the whole Spurs team.
Yeah, I can't laugh about somebody saying that Andrew Bynum is the best center in the league, because he truly is playing like the best center in the league right now. Just, the rebounds goes without mention. 30 rebounds against the San Antonio Spurs is a career high. On the list for top performances from Lakers big men in history. So there's that. And then the way Bynum is taking care of the offensive load in Kobe's absence, I think, is very impressive. Just showing a complete arsenal of offensive moves, grabbing offensive rebounds, getting difficult buckets in the paint. This is very, very interesting to see, and gives hope for Laker fans who thought that maybe the Lakers' future was looking dim with all these big contracts and the age factor. Now, Bynum is really coming into his own skin and putting up performances that make you think very positively about the future here in Los Angeles.
Right, but not only that, but he was also named Western Conference Player of the Week this week. That's a big feat for him. But also he's outperforming Dwight Howard since the All-Star break. He's averaging more points than him, more rebounds. His shooting percentage is better than Dwight Howard. And he's healthier than Dwight Howard, which
he's
never thought that was ever going to happen. But he's healthier than Dwight, which makes a big difference. And now he's becoming the focal point of the Laker offense. In the beginning of the season, Bynum was complaining about the touches and he needed more touches. And now he's getting that opportunity, and like Matt Barnes said, you gotta let him eat. You gotta feed the beast, and that's what they're doing. They're giving him the ball, even in the nights where he's not really shooting the ball particularly well, especially against yesterday. He struggled from the field, but they kept going to him late in the game, and it's paying dividends for this team. I mean, it makes things easier, and it just shows Laker fans that maybe Jim Buss and the Lakers knew what they were doing by holding on to Andrew Bynum, because he's proven to be quite an asset for the Lakers now.
Yes, definitely. And another important thing coming out of this week is that he's stayed out of trouble. You know,
wow.
He hasn't been ejected out of a game, picked up any technicals.
That's because they weren't playing Houston, or else he would have been kicked out again.
Or else he would have been done by the third quarter. But yeah, he's stayed out of trouble, you know, been relatively quiet on that end. And that's very good. That's a very good thing to consider when it comes to Andrew Bynum nowadays.
Because he's very unpredictable. Yeah. That's the only question mark now about him, is that you don't know what he's going to do. I mean, I say the Lakers for the playoffs, you place a gag order on him. He can't speak to nobody, because I don't want him saying anything ridiculous in the post game where something that's outlandish is going to get him into more trouble.
Definitely. And other things to consider. A player by the name of Ramon Sessions has found his offensive stroke also. You know, he's putting up pretty good offensive numbers, shooting at a higher clip than he had last week. He was struggling, I think, from the field last week. Now he's putting up pretty impressive numbers, assists included. You know, he's actually finding his stroke without Kobe on the floor, which is important. And just the court vision that he brings to the team, I think, is also very good to see.
Yeah, well, this is going to show that this is what the Lakers needed this whole time. They needed a quick guard to make the offense a lot easier for Bynum and Gasol. And that's when we have, no offense against Fisher, but he was, and Steve Blake, they were kind of slowing down the team. They weren't doing what the Lakers needed them to do. The NBA is now turning into a pick and roll type of, a pick and pop type of offense, and that's basically what Session does. If they're going to sag off of him, or they're going to give him that little jump shot, he's going to take it, and he can hit that shot. So it makes things a lot easier for the team. I think now he understands the team a little bit better. He knows who's on his team now. So he's feeling more comfortable, and now just hope to see if all that goes well when Kobe comes back. But before that, though, I want to ask you one question, though. Is Kobe Bryant a better coach than Mike Brown?
Oh, man. You know, Kobe is the best. Is better dressed than Mike Brown. I can say that. It's looking very, very good out there. But I would say that I can't really say for sure if he's a better coach than Mike Brown, but he does seem to have the ear of his players a lot more. Just the ability, just his interactions on the floor with players during timeouts is a very interesting thing to see, because Kobe is not necessarily the most vocal guy on the floor, unless he's yelling at you for not doing your job.
Right.
But he's not necessarily the best at really talking nicely and politely to people, and he appears to be doing that. And I think it's a very good thing to see from Kobe Bryant at this stage of his career. Yeah,
it's maturity. And do you see that he was writing down plays like backwards, or it was crazy. It was nice to see Kobe actually drawing up plays for other people besides himself.
I mean, if you would have told me this 8 years ago, when Kobe was, having bad conversations with Shaq and keeping to himself, that he would be, coaching X's and O's and lapping it up with Andrew Bynum nowadays, I'd look at you like you were crazy. But no, it's very interesting to see.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good thing to see.
It's a good thing to see that he's drawing the plays for somebody other than himself.
Yeah.